2.02. This is unit rate as slope. Now slope is something you might have heard of when you were learning Greek algebra in 7th or 8th grade, but today we're going to look at slope as a unit rate. So a unit rate or rate of change is a ratio. Ratio is also a fraction. That describes how one quantity changes in relation to another quantity. So the slope is the same thing as rate of change. And this could be, there's a couple of different formulas for us. We have y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We have delta y over delta x. And we also have rise over run. So that's kind of the three ways you can find slope or rate of change. We have three different formulas you can use, just depending on the situation. Alright, so we have some tables. We're going to go ahead and find the rate of change and make sense of the rate of change, right? Because the rate of change is a really great way for us to find information about something. So on the first table, we have Diana. And here's Diana's age on the left side. And here's her height on the right side. Right? And we're going to find her rate of change. So in order to find rate of change, I'm going to actually go ahead and do delta y over delta x. Because you guys are like, delta? What's delta? Delta is this little triangle thing that I draw. This is described as delta. And delta is symbolizes change. So this is change in y over change in x. So I'm going to choose 2 points. Let's choose, I'll highlight it. Let's choose this one and this one. All right. And then if I give you guys vertical tables, the left side will be x and the right side will be y. So the change in y. So let's look at 72 and 60. If I do the change in y, from 72 to 60, or from 60 to 72, that is a change of what? So if I do the math, 72 minus 60, that's going to give me 12. So delta y is going to be 12, because the change in y values from 72 to 60 is 12. And then the change from age will be from 18 minus 15. So I have 18 minus 15. That's going to give me 3. Right? But don't forget, y also measures something. Y measures inches. So 12 inches. And 3 delta x is measured in years. And this is going to give us 12 over 3. I can simplify 12 over 3 as 4 over 1. This gives me 4 inches in 1 year. So this table is telling me that Diana is growing at 4 inches 1 year. This is her rate of change. Alright, next we have Suhei. Let's go ahead and let's do Suhei ones together. We'll do the delta y over delta x way. And let's see if we can find what her rate of change is. So let's choose 2 points. It doesn't matter which point you choose. I'm going to choose, doesn't matter, this one and this one. If you choose to do 2 different points, you should get out the same answer. If your math is correct, you should get out the same answer. So I'm going to remind myself that the left column is x, the right column is y. And in order to find rate of change, in order to find slope, I'm going to do delta y over delta x. Go ahead and remind me, what does delta mean? That is correct. Delta means change in y or x values. So if I look at the y values right here, from 57 down to 54, that is a change of 3.0. Alright, if I subtract 57.5 minus 54.5, which gave me 3.0. Now to change in x, I'm going to take 17 minus 15. So I have 17 minus 15. That's going to give me 2. So over here, I will have 2. Now, what are the units? 3.0 what? 2 what? Go ahead and write down the units, please. That is correct. 3.0 inches for every 2 years. Now, 2 years is kind of hard if we want to compare this later on. Let's go ahead and let's change this into 1 year. So let's actually divide this. 3 divided by 2 will actually give me 1.5 inches a year. So Suhei, who is represented by the second table, is growing at a rate of 1.5 inches a year. Now go ahead and find Daniele's. Go ahead and find Daniele's, then click play to check your answers. So at this point, you've done Daniele's, and we're going to go ahead and find 2 points for rate of change. Let's do these two. If you chose 2 different ones, you should still get the right answer if your math is correct. I'm going to remind myself that the left side is x, the right side is y. Let's go ahead, let's do delta y over delta x. So the change from 54 to 64.5, I'm going to do that in my head, that's 10.5. And the change from 18 to 21, that's going to give me 3. So I'm going to use my handy dandy calculator. Type in 10.5 divided by 3. And that's going to give me 3.5 over 1. Now, 3.5 what over 1 what? Remember, these are 2 quantities, right? So I need to assign units to these numbers. Otherwise, they're just random numbers, right? So 3.5 inches every 1 year. So Daniele is growing at 3.5 inches for 1 year. Let's answer this question. Who grew the fastest out of the 3? Go ahead and answer that question first. If you wrote Daniele, you are incorrect. If you wrote Diana, you are correct. Diana is growing the fastest out of all 3. How do you know? I can't write down there, so I'll write over here. How do I know that Diana is growing the fastest? Diana has the largest rate of change. Because each year she's growing, if you look back at Diana, each year Diana is growing 4 inches a year. Everyone else is growing either 1.5 or 3.5 inches.